Who wants that?
Unbelievable turn of events. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chop Studios and Chop Sports Media with Sturch and Gooch. And of course, Wrestling Rob behind the glass. It is another episode, another great Monday for myself and Gooch and Rob celebrating Victory Monday. It's a trifecta over here at the studio. So everybody's beaming. They're buzzing.
Second in 3 weeks where we all get to enjoy a
I mean, when you
triple
have
Victory Monday,
when you have a stud of a quarterback like Cooper Rush, you can celebrate things like this. So this is it's a fun time. It's definitely enjoyable. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. We got a lot to cover today. And of course, if you want to support Chop Sports, you could do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. There's a $3, a $5, a $10 variety on how to do so. Big time break, morning Bailey. Give me an overlay, Rob. Big time, break buds thing going down this week. So for those Patreon members, if you are a member, now's the time to do it because they're giving away just
Thursday we have a big thing happening. The teams are now sold out. There's actually one spot left, but in talks with somebody that's supposed to be buying it, so I'm going to hold off. But as of right now, Thursday, we're doing a triple header. It's going to be a mini helmet, a jersey, and a full-size helmet. And there is a major giveaway inside in the break. We did not advertise this, but now that it's sold, I guess I could. I didn't talk to Joe about it, but here it goes. There is a major giveaway. Anyway. There is another giveaway. So it's going to be decided on in the break, but it is a significant giveaway. I won't name what it is yet because, like I said, it's going to be chosen by the people. So we have some items and let people vote, and we're going to do some free stuff. So if you join, if you're a part of the break, you obviously are in on all three. You get the random teams. But if you're not a part of the break, you did not buy in, just show up into the break room and have a good time with us, and you have a chance at winning something. So we'll see you guys on Thursday. I think Rob will be there, right? You got Fight Factory. So me, Dave, you'll be here.
I don't know if I'm going to stick around for the whole thing, but yeah,
but you'll be here in spirit, and Dave will be here in the comments. So see you guys on Thursday.
Sounds like a plan. All right. So before we get into that, if you're into the sports stock market known as Mojo, do yourself a favor, head on over there and sign up right now. They're giving away so many free shares. They're giving away multipliers. They're giving away everything under the sun. And if you want to check out Sturch and Gooch, we're there live every day around 9:30. We get released over on YouTube, over at the Mojo YouTube. So excited about that. Happy Monday, Tommy D coming in. Good morning, Tommy. Look at that. Huh? Like, he almost knows how to use his phone. So what a guy, what a guy, what a concept, right, Rob? Like, he actually
home today, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's a little windy and rainy. Maybe it's too much for him to handle, so maybe that's why he's home. But anyway, go check out Mojo Market Report. That's live every day, Monday through Friday, over on their YouTube channel. And before we can get right into the rundown because there's a lot of stuff actually to get into. Outside of just week 4, we got a lot of stuff going on right now, and it starts with Gooch's Rundown, and it's being brought to you by Fusco Insurance Agency. Visit FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. He's got brand new reads coming to us tomorrow, so we're going to get some more information about what he's got going on over there at the Fusco Insurance Agency. He does insurance, retirement, wealth planning. He does it all over there. He's a full-fledged powerhouse of an organization, agency. You know, he's like the Miller Gold agency of like RE and all them stuff because he's got a lot of stuff going on. So go check it out. But first, we check out the rundown.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a rundown here, and courtesy of everybody's least favorite umpire, Florida man / Hawaii Mike, Albert Pujols homered in his very final at-bat at Busch Stadium. He also homered in his very first at-bat at Busch Stadium. So little Albert Pujols stat for you, another cool one as he wraps up his career. The Mets get swept by the Braves in the big series that everybody had circled since, I would say, June. I remember talking about this series, and the Mets fans were like, bring it on. We all knew it would come down to this series, and the Mets did not fare well. They get swept by the Braves. They are not dead yet, but it's not looking great.
Doesn't look good.
I want to talk a little bit, though, about Dansby Swanson.
Good baseball player.
Dude is raking. He hit a home run in all 3 games, I believe. And he is the one Atlanta Brave player that is not locked up long-term. He's in his walk year.
Ooh,
so Dansby earned himself a couple million. I don't know. He might have priced himself out because Aaron Judge is on the docket. But, yeah, Dansby Swanson definitely going to get paid. And sorry, Mets fans, this is a tough one. I'm not even rubbing it in. It is a tough one. It's not over. That's a good thing. But
they're in the playoffs, right? And that's the first key to getting to where you want to go. The only problem is you may or may not draw San Diego in the first round. That's not fun.
Playoff Juan Soto in round one. Soto's been very, very bad this year in terms of what his expectations were, but playoff Juan Soto, I don't know. That might be another story.
Yeah.
Speaking of the playoffs, we don't care about the Yankees series against Texas. Some people may. I am not one of those people.
If you're a Judge fan, yes, you do.
Look, if Aaron Judge hits 67 home runs, if he hits 10 more, right, in 3 games, cool. If the Yankees don't win in the playoffs, I don't care. I want the Yankees to win the World Series or at least not get bounced in the first round. Give me some meaningful
it's automatically baseball. Second round. It is.
Don't be one and done. Better?
There you go.
Better. All right. So Aaron Judge, cool. Yankees winning a playoff series, much, much cooler. Basketball news. The Phoenix Suns, all the turmoil that they're dealing with, and these guys lose to the 36ers.
The 36ers?
You heard that correct. Blown out, too.
They got blown. Yeah, I don't know what the
Wait, is that a real team?
But it is an Australian team.
Oh,
with their starters.
And they went down under, and they didn't fare too well. The 36ers played well. Got to give it to them. That Euro ball is working out there, and it's not even Europe, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Jabari Smith made his preseason debut. He's a number 3 pick. I didn't see his final stat line, but I did see a clip, and he looked pretty smooth. He looked the part, and Zion was spotted at practice, bouncing around, looking not fat and
svelte,
not unhealthy. He looks like he's ready to make an impact this year if he could keep it together. Over to football. What do we got? Aaron Rodgers joined the 500 club. My boy. It was a tough go of it, which we'll get to later. But Aaron Rodgers, 500 touchdowns.
He's in good company. There's
Tom Brady has 717.
That's insane, bro.
That's
absolutely nuts.
That's really good for a pussy. Just saying. For a wimp. Better?
There you go.
All right. He's good for a wimp. Chris Olave scored his first career touchdown yesterday. He looks like he is
bloody
the
London.
Real deal. He looks like he's going to be the real deal.
And he got opportunity. Michael Thomas was out. And Kamara. And
Speaking of first times, Kenny Pickett made an appearance in his very first pass attempt. He threw a pick, but he kind of figured things out a little bit.
And then threw 2
more.
Before
throwing 2 more picks. But you expect that out of a rookie in bad weather. The Jets played well down the stretch, and you got to tip your cap to the Jets defense in that one too. But you did see a little coming out party as well. While George Pickens had that catch, this was his best usage and it was his best game by far. So a little Kenny Pickett to George Pickens going forward might be a little thing to keep your eye on. And I know it's way too early to talk about draft picks, but I thought it's worth mentioning because there's one undefeated team left in football right now. That is obviously the Eagles. And with the Saints loss on Sunday in bloody London, the Eagles now are the owners of a top 5 pick. If it ended now, and the Saints don't look really good going forward, so there's a chance that the Eagles are going to be better next year. I don't know what their contracts look like, but a team that's playing the way they're playing.
No, see, Hawaii Mike, that is an incompletion, actually. Okay, he's like no incompletions yesterday, just interceptions. That's an incomplete pass.
Yeah,
just so
no
we're
balls
aware.
touched the ground.
Just we're good. Yeah, none of the balls.
I'm sure Captain Literal, Hawaii Mike, everyone's least favorite umpire,
I texted him like early today. I texted him like very early today around 6:50 in the morning because we'll get into it in a little bit, but I'll tell you exactly why I texted Hawaii Mike so
if anyone's curious about hearing the rest of the top draft picks, it's the Texans, the Panthers, the Raiders, Eagles, Steelers, and then I will just say them because there's one other team that's of note. Patriots, Commanders, Lions, and then the Dolphins at the 9 pick because they own the 49ers pick. If the 49ers falter, the Dolphins and the Eagles could be 2 playoff teams with a high pick.
Interesting.
I think the 49ers will fix it, though.
Okay.
Anyway, that is it for my rundown. Back to you, Dave.
All right. Well, listen, I care about Judge's pursuit. I do. And I know there are a couple of people in the comments were excited about possibly a triple crown. Why not both? Why don't we get both? But yeah, so I like as far as the Mets are concerned, I don't know if there's any Mets fans in the house right now because usually it's Rube and Ibby and guys they check in.
Have a safe flight, Sam.
I wonder if the panic level is up a little bit. I mean, listen, we've seen these big teams, these good teams fall from grace, and the Mets were the top dogs for basically the entire season. And then the month of September, Braves decided, we're done losing games, and then they went on an absolute tear. And I think it's alarming right now to be a Mets fan, considering the fact that your boy Max and Bassett both got rocked up yesterday over the weekend.
That's the one thing that I'll say is like, but if there's one guy that I think can rebound once playoffs turn, it's going to be a Max Scherzer.
Right.
But the other thing that I'll say about the Mets, it's not like the Mets.
There's one. Chris Payne's.
It's not like the Mets blew it.
No.
They blew it in this series. Don't get me wrong. Like this was huge. They had a chance and it was right in front of them, and they blew it in that regard. But as far as the last month or 6 weeks of baseball, the Mets played pretty well. It wasn't like they were getting they want extended losing streaks. Like anytime these things came off, they managed to fix it with their rotation. The Braves just did not lose. So it's more of a tip your cap to the Braves. And then they come in and they take care of business in this week. You know, anybody see what the Braves have going on when they pull the opposing team pulls a pitcher in the middle of the inning?
Mm-mm.
You've not seen this video?
Nah.
Yet?
No,
bro.
Is it something they
turn
always
the
do?
lights out. I don't know. I've never seen it before, and I'm 40, so
he's a man.
I've never seen it before. But they turn the stadium lights down. I guess.
Oh wait, I saw it dim as Scherzer was being pulled.
Yeah, they turn the stadium lights down, and everybody turns on their phone and they play the fucking tomahawk chop, and it's like
really. So when an opposing pitcher gets taken out,
it's got a college football.
That would kind of make me as a
love
pitcher
it.
though, like be lit up to come in though. That wouldn't make me nervous. That'd make me like,
that's a little overwhelming though. If you know, I mean, nobody's overwhelmed by that.
Go,
I mean, like put it this way, it could work both ways. But I feel like if you're a pitcher, it's more or less like ragging on the pitcher coming out.
Yeah.
But like, what are you gonna do if like someone goes 8 innings, one run, 10 Ks, and they decide to take him out for the closer? Are you gonna be like,
what's cooler?
All right, lights down. Your team's down.
What's cooler?
4 runs.
The lights out tomahawk thing or the trumpets?
Well, considering the way things went this weekend,
Looks like the lights off tomahawk.
I would
thing,
have to assume the lights off tomahawk chop. No. Yeah, the trumpet thing. That's kind of when the wheels came off for the Mets. I don't buy that. That's the reason. But you know, Mets fans might.
Mets fans should be a little concerned. I'm not saying like, oh my God, jump off a cliff. I'm saying like you got to play.
There is still a chance to lose.
Just
to the
they got to play better
Series.
ball. They just got to start hitting.
Your hopes and dreams of losing to the Yankees.
Shout out to Polar Bear.
Alive.
Is Polar Bear like one of the most cringiest, like
I think we established
goofiest players in the league? It's like, bro, look, I don't expect them to light up like the media headlines, but it's just like, you know, we played a good baseball team and they just played better this weekend. Like, no shit. Like, yeah. I understand it's such player speak, and I know all the players do it.
I'm not going to get on him for player speak.
I guess
Aaron
the way
Judge
he
is the
delivers
worst with that too.
Well, what's he going to say? Judge can go out there
Dave.
and do no wrong.
Aaron, yeah, exactly. Like the same interview. If you fucking just took the voices out,
right?
I just spit everywhere.
That's nice. Thank you for spitting. Anyway, that's the baseball. Before we get to the football, I do want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up here. Chop Sports has a new partner, and it is officially the coolest thing I've actually seen. And I'm not just saying it because I actually signed up and I did it. Chop Sports has partnered up with Pickett. What Pickett is, it's a app you can download on your phone on Apple, and if you're a green texter, you're weird to start off. But if you have one of those, they have it available for that too. Pickett actually is like a social media platform for gamblers and your bets. So basically, you're posting your bets, you're syncing your bets to all your books. So now you're seeing all the bets that you've made over the course of however long you've been betting. I think it's a very cool thing to kind of line up and know exactly where you stand as far as a bettor is concerned, because they added all my bets up and I was like, oh, I'm not doing too bad. You know, and then I'm not even just talking like Saturday, we did great with the Sauce Network. Our top bets went 6-1. And I was like, I was walking around like McGregor in my house. But then Sunday's football slate comes up and you're just like, oh my God. And it's just like, it was just
Sunday was
tragic.
A sloppy Sunday.
But I will speak on behalf of Pickett. If you want to join right now,
dump on Sunday.
Go download the app. And like I said, very intuitive stuff. You can compare your bets to other bettors. You're basically making friends with other gamblers. I think it's a really cool app, and I think you should download it. And when you do, use the promo code Chop Sports, and people will get compensated. And it's like almost,
bro. I spent 2.5 hours yesterday going back and but hiding my old bets.
That's not fair, actually.
It is fair, and I'm going to explain.
Oh, well, the whole making other people's picks.
Yeah, like at that time, I was making bets for my father, my brother, just people were using my account. Like, I would be like, yeah, I'll put it in for you, Venmo me, and shit like that. So,
yeah. So technically, it doesn't
by the way,
stand at yours.
What a nightmare that was. Don't do that. And other than that, yeah, there's too many weird parlays that I would not ever, bro. It dated back to like years. It was like bets that I was making years ago when I was not a smart gambler. We'll just say that. So I was like, I can't. That's embarrassing. Anyway, pick it at.
Yes, go download that right now. And also, I want to give a shout out to Hawaii Mike, who won the free game on Hater Fantasy Sports over the weekend. No bullshit. He tied somebody for the lead. He won. And once I saw that, I texted him. I'm like, yo, man, congrats. I saw you won. Hey, let me know how the follow-up is with that, because I was like, I just want to know things. But Hater Fantasy Sports, they launched another game, a couple paid games, this game, I think if you won, you get like 50% site credit, 50% cash in your pocket. I don't really know. I didn't look into it that deep, but I will say that Hater Fantasy Sports is up and going. And of course, our friends over at Dat Chat, social media, blockchain, all that stuff. Go check those guys out as well. My man Glenn, always supporting Shop Sports. We really appreciate that as well. Our friends down at Lowell's, who have made all of the merch for Madawan Day, which has been rescheduled for October 22nd, which is a Saturday. Good call, Rob. Always there for me, right? Just picking me up. And then, of course, Chris knows how to take care of your clean-shaven balls here on a Monday.
If they're not clean-shaven, that's what we're here for. Because if you head on over to manscaped.com, use that promo code SHOPSPORTS, you get a 20% off a pair of said clean-shaven balls. Mine are already done. Dave's, I'm not sure about, but
don't ask.
Most of you guys, you've obliged. But for the new ones out there, definitely head on over to Manscaped. It's 20% off. You get the Performance Package 4.0. It's got the 400K LED trimmer with a porcelain blade. It's like a French kiss on the booty hole. You do not want to miss it. So head on over to Manscaped, promo code SHOPSPORTS. Shave it.
Shave it. Just so you know, Chris came in and said he took the red eye from Phoenix today. He was on the plane with a few Savannah bananas. So our friends over at the Savannah Banana, I keep seeing their social media. It's like you talk about having fun, man. And now it sounds like fucking Collinsworth. Here's a bunch of guys that know how to have fun on a baseball diamond, right?
I feel like if Pete Alonso was on a fucking YouTube show, that's what he would have said.
These guys are having fun out there, and they're just having more fun than us this weekend, and they're just playing better baseball. Anywho, what time is Break Buds Thursday? Break
Buds on Thursday is going to be 7 because we have football and we got to watch it. We don't want to overlap
this way. There we go, 7.
So we'll see you guys on 7 on Thursday.
7 on Thursday. Sounds like a plan. No,
I just can't talk.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks too. All right. Going into last week, last week's games, we made our picks. Here's my dilemma. We did pick the 49er game on Friday.
I know.
So we'll just preview it today.
Too?
Unless you want to change
what the real dilemma was on Friday was that we picked a game that was not even the right. That was like the point spread from the Thursday game and the over-under from the Thursday game. On the games that we picked, the 49er game, the point spread was like I didn't edit that point spread because I wait until Monday. But
we're making the picks tonight then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are scratched because the 49ers are not getting 3.5 points. They're giving 1.5. So I was like, when I saw it, I actually said it on the show. I said, this point spread is fucked up. Right. And it was. I was right.
Who the frig is your
bookie? I was wrong to put it, but right to
let's start off with the local front. And yes, believe it or not, something that I called back in July. I got receipts just like Robert Saleh.
What did you call?
I called the Jets going 5-0, but I did say that in the process of doing that, they would beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they did.
You gotta.
What?
That is not what you did not call anything about the Jets are 2-2.
No. Rob, back me up.
I saw the video.
The video was posted.
Yeah.
I said
and Chris was
the Jets are going to go into Pittsburgh and win. And you said, I'll take that bet right now. I was like, okay, cool.
So this is a classic case of Dave fucking chopping and screwing an edit where
how did I chop and screw? You want me to play it?
I want you to play the full 5 minutes where it's like
the
Jets are going to go 5-0. They might even go 10-0.
No.
And they're going to go playoffs.
No.
You were talking crazy.
Bullshit. I'm telling you right now, what I said is what I said.
Even a blind
that the Jets were going to go into Pittsburgh and win.
Did you guys watch this game at all? It's funny because if you go as halftime was coming up, you knew. You just saw Mike Tomlin next to Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett looked at him, and you could tell he was like, "You're going in, bro."
Right.
Steelers in Pittsburgh too, because if it's Mitch or it's Kenny Pickett by week 4, Jets still win that game.
Yeah, but this was on the heels of him. He was like, and he said go into Pittsburgh too, because he just before that sentence he was like,
"They're going to beat the Bengals."
Yeah, they didn't.
Look, listen. I'll give myself my flowers when I'm right.
Wilson,
I was right. Out of the 4 games, I was right.
Wait, you think if Zach Wilson played, they would have beat the Bengals?
100%.
Oh God,
this team is different, dude.
Bro, they almost lost to the Steelers.
I am fully on board, and you could say it on my Mojo stuff. You could say it in my hype for this kid. Zach Wilson finds different ways to score. The man caught the jetty. And yes, it's the Philly, but
good
it's the
young team. But I don't know that they ran into the Bengals who were in a tough spot. Like the Bengals were 0-2 as
correct.
Well.
So they could have.
That offense lit it up.
Had the Bengals not been in desperation mode.
Threw for 60 passes.
That's what I'm saying. So like you look at the Jets team last night from this game, like shout out to the Jets for being gritty and for getting this shit done because the change was made. We saw Kenny Pickett come in, throw a bunch of picks, and look, I think Kenny Pickett's going to make this offense hum a little bit better than what Mitch did. 100%, right? That's not even close.
Yeah, the Steelers don't even care that they lost. They're like, fine.
Did you see? Now, very close call. Breece Hall almost fumbled that ball into the end zone.
Well, across the plane, though.
I understand that, but it's just you got to be careful. Just hold on to the rock.
I was nervous.
You're a kid. You got to hold on to the rock.
I mean, that was very clearly a touchdown.
You know, I know, but I'm saying you just got to be careful.
No,
take care of the football.
Could have changed bad angle on the camera.
Right. So obviously the Jets get the win. It's a big win for them. They're riding high right now. They're feeling themselves. Zach Wilson looks good. Again, murky in the beginning because he's just getting his bearings, but once he's settled in, man. The team played well, and the defense is playing well. And I just look, I've liked the Jets going in with Zach Wilson. That in July when we made these predictions, Zach Wilson was their starting quarterback, and I said, yeah, they can win some games. And I'll be damned if you don't think that the Jets could have won the games they lost with Zach Wilson, the quarterback. I'm telling you right now, this kid's got something. He's got a little moxie. Robert Saleh making these guys keep receipts and all that other shit. They would have egg on their face had they have lost yesterday in Zach Wilson's debut. I think that this is a big win for the Jets. Big win.
If they would have lost, they would have got.
They would have been like, "Oh, solid receipts." Nobody cares.
This is not me talking shit on Zach Wilson because you heard me this morning. Like I'm definitely buying in on Zach Wilson right now, and I'm definitely buying in on the Jets. I just don't think the Jets would be in any better position right now. In fact, they might be in a little worse position because Flacco took him back in that game, and I know it was a busted coverage, but maybe the Browns game is different, but we don't know. You know,
true. You're right. You
just don't know. Zach Wilson does make mistakes too.
Sure.
And Flacco played well in that Browns game and brought them back late. So the Jets are really like a Nick Chubb slide away from being 0-3 going into this game.
Very true.
It's not like they really did well against the Ravens. There was some signs that
again, I think they would have played a little better had Zach Wilson been the quarterback that day.
I think 2-2 is about right for the Jets. No matter
only had 4 wins last year.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying.
I slapped
2-2
the over.
is about right. They're a little bit ahead on the rebuild, or they're right on par. There's a little bit to see what's going to happen with Zach Wilson. It's not going to be Mitch Trubisky / Kenny Pickett in his first career start. You know, the Steelers threw 3 picks in the second half. Like,
all right, first, okay. Just to answer the questions from the masses real quick. Hawaii Mike, better first 5 starts, Wilson or Rush? First of all, Rush has had 4, so there's no 5 starts. There's only 4, and he's won them all. So therefore, his starts are better.
I don't know. Like, I need more context because I don't have the numbers right in front of me.
It doesn't matter. Win is a win. I don't give a shit about the numbers.
Well, if you're asking me between 2 guys that clearly have both had really good starts, I would imagine the other guys got.
I'm assuming Wilson's got better numbers.
Yeah, Wilson's numbers are really bad right now. I'm like
total for his career.
Not career.
Well, that's what he's saying. Well, first 5 starts.
5 starts of career. I thought he meant like the season.
Yeah, Zach Wilson in one of his games last year had like a
very bad game. One of those forgettables.
Yeah, like 4 picks.
5 is 5. LOL. Well, he hasn't played 5 games yet. There.
Yeah, what the fuck? Anyway,
Hawaii Mike. Next game.
Yeah, let's move on. Staying the local. Somehow, some way, the Giants got this one.
Yeah.
Dude, their offense sucks. I'm sorry. Saquon Barkley is very good at football. Everything else about this team is garbage. And Daniel Jones running 2 in. Congratulations on the naked bootleg that nobody can fucking cover for whatever reason. But now he's banged up. Tyrod Taylor goes in there. He's banged up. You got Saquon Barkley taking snaps at quarterback. Look, the Giants, they ran into the Cowboys on a little bit of a heater, right? And then the other games they played the Titans and who else? They played gimme. Come on, somebody help me out there.
Panthers.
The Panthers, right?
Yeah.
Panthers looked piss poor again last night. We'll talk about that. The Giants haven't had a real test. And I don't even consider the Cowboys being a real test because nobody expected the Cowboys to go in there and beat them the way they did. It was a closer game. They were favored, right? The Giants are about to run into a buzzsaw next week in London. Okay, they're playing the Green Bay Packers, and I think that gets very, very ugly for the Giants. But I'll give you your flowers. You're 3-1. You had a great September. Congratulations. I think again, the play of Saquon Barkley, he's all the way back. All the way back. I think he's going to be a very good back in this year. He might even be top 3 rushing yards going forward. Who knows? But overall, the Giants have a lot of holes. They don't have anybody to throw to. it's going to be tough sledding going forward. But again, they get their win.
The defense looks okay though.
Defense looked all right, but
It's
they played the Bears.
That looks bad.
Yeah,
They played the Bears,
look,
and the Bears have not really made
giving the
impressive,
Giants
even in their win against the San Francisco 49ers.
Pouring rain.
I'm
The
giving
Ba-
the
and yeah,
Giants all
again.
the credit, and the offense. I'm giving them the credit because they deserve it at 3-1. They could easily be 1-3 right now, given the same schedule, because the Giants were
They could
expected
be
to
0-4.
Yeah, but they were expected to be that team this year, where nobody going into week 1, we were laughing like the Titans were going to run directly over them. They played really good in that second half.
True.
And look, through 1 quarter way of the season, the Giants got 3 wins. That's a lot more than a lot of teams can say that you expected to be good this year. They're not doing many things well besides Saquon. I'll give you that. Their defense is very susceptible against the run. They have big holes in the secondary, but they're managing to do it. And if you look across the NFL, outside of a couple teams, there's really not many high-powered offenses this year through 4 weeks. The unders are slapping. Yesterday worked out differently, unfortunately for me. But Giants aren't really going to make much noise, I don't think, down the stretch, because Daniel Jones will hold them back. I think what we're seeing, though, is while the Giants are still winning, Daniel Jones isn't the guy.
Yep.
Not that guy, pal.
He's
He's
not
not that guy.
close.
And look, if Tyrod
Not
Taylor
gonna
went in there and not got hurt, they might have actually won bigger.
He'd probably still be the quarterback going in the.
We'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. Obviously, you coming in there, Casey coming in saying, "Why the hell is Daniel Jones that good at running the football? He was a real threat in the game." For the first couple of weeks, he has been, and we all see
Daniel
him.
Jones.
We also see him trip over the 20 and cough the ball up. So that's why you have to clean that shit up.
On that run, he got up to like the highest top speed in the league that year. That was the highest top speed in the entire season by any player, including Tyreek Hill, all of them.
And he tripped.
And fumbled. Didn't he fumble too?
No, he didn't fumble on that play, but he did
he
trip
fumbled.
over the
Maybe
20.
it wasn't the same play. Maybe he actually scored a touchdown on this play. But
Wait,
Daniel
fastest
Jones,
clock speed? That can't be right. That can't be
only
right.
like
I'm
30
sorry.
yards.
A white quarterback named Daniel Jones is the
White
fastest
quarterback.
dude in the league last year. Stop. I call blasphemy. Somebody check that. But anyway, let's move it on.
I love when I know for a fact that I'm right.
He must have seen the stat on Next Gen or some shit, and he knows he's right. Speaking of games that make you sweat, what happened, Chris? I'm going to lay 16.5 on this game. You know,
I did not say that.
Yes,
You did.
Yes,
Oh,
you
yeah.
did.
Now we can pull the fucking receipts.
I will.
Because last week on the show, I said, I'm going to lay the 9.5, but this is not one that I feel comfortable laying the alternate line. I 100% said it. I said, Ramondre Stevenson will give us issues.
Look at him go.
Don't sit here and put
Look at
words
him
in my
go.
mouth.
Anyway,
This is 2 weeks ago.
Gooch, explain yourself. Why the hell was this game close? This is a clear example that the Packers were 1,000% the better team in this game. Why did it play out the way it did?
Okay. Well, one, the pick six definitely did not help.
Which, by the way, how many interceptions has he thrown already this season?
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, three.
Okay.
Is that alarming to you?
He had
Considering he had one like all last year total?
He had
Different receiver core.
But he had that's true. He had two.
So you're trying to do too much is what I'm saying.
No, he's there. They threw like 4 times in the first half. He threw 2 in week 1 last year and finished with 4.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
but now he's got 3 in
he's
4
got 3.
games.
We might look at this in December and be like, he's got 3 still.
Right.
So,
he's got 3 in 16
I'm
games.
not worried about Rodgers taking care of the ball. That shit's gonna happen in the NFL. It sucked that it happened. Lucky that we came away with the win because I could guarantee you we haven't won any of the other ones that he's thrown.
Last year he threw 4 all year.
Yeah, no, I
He threw 2 in
understand
week
that.
1, though.
Oh, really? Oh,
I've never
yeah.
actually. I can't remember the last pick 6 that Aaron Rodgers has thrown.
I remember one. I remember all of them actually.
I know you
Because
remember,
they're so
but I'm saying
rare
if
that they do stand out.
yes, but right, and that's why I said I can't remember because I don't think he does these things. But
that
all of a
was
sudden
only
you
his
see it,
second one career at Lambeau,
and
though.
that's alarming to me that this game was that the tone was set
So I'll
at
tell
that
you what.
moment.
I'll tell you what it is though. It's a classic
Of course,
case.
I knew
A classic case of styles make fights, and it's unfortunate that it didn't matter. It was actually embarrassing of the fact that it was Bailey Zappi in there and not Brian Hoyer. But in my mind, I was like, oh, this could get really ugly. But then I'm also thinking to myself, like, well, the Packers can't stop the run so far this year. And like Bill Belichick really doesn't give a shit which quarterback's
Oh,
handing
he
the
loves
ball
running
off.
the rock. Loves running the rock.
You know, Bailey Zappi was probably picked tailor-made to run this
just
exact.
hand this ball off a lot, kid.
You know,
You'll
he's
be
been
all right.
working that same exact system since he got there. Like, if you ever get in, this is the offense where you're running, no matter who's playing. We're going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And they had enough like trickery and gimmicks mixed in where he was able to execute because it wasn't as vanilla of a game plan when they did decide to throw the ball. They had some weird misdirections and it worked.
Did he throw the ball? I feel like he didn't throw the ball.
Bro, he was 10 for 14 for 100 yards in the second half. Like
100 yards?
But that's what are we talking about?
Rodgers can get that on a
look at
drive.
the Packers defense isn't giving up like 200 pass yards a game outside of week 1.
This is what Jair's out to? He missed this game? Yeah.
I just love the fact that Patriots fans have to be so frustrated watching this every week. Like,
there ain't nothing better.
Yeah.
You thought
hold
watching
that L at the end of the day.
You thought watching Tom Brady throw a Microsoft Surface was good. Watch Bill Belichick throw his headset. My man almost stroked out.
I don't even know what the fuck he was complaining
died on
about
the field.
Because I understand that they didn't want them to reset it, but it didn't matter because the Packers challenged the play.
Correct.
So it was like you were yelling at nothing. And I mean, like you got 3 gifts that game. The delay of game, the second straight week.
Shout out to Jim Nance who called that out 3 times
on a delay of game.
Right,
like, what are we talking about, bro?
Come on,
you're giving away fucking
I hate
points.
this rule. I hate the rule because you know what? You know what it is? It's a rule. Everybody knows the rule except the fans. That's the truth. Because like
true.
we know the rule, but we're still barking for it. And I'll be the first one to admit I'm the first. Like, I saw that in one of the one instance in the Dallas game where you're like 0-0. Oh, okay, he got it off. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
bro,
it's a bullshit
you can
rule.
make the
It
case
sucks.
in the Brady thing, but that was still egregious last week against the Bucs.
Twice in a row.
Yeah,
Right.
2 plays in a row. But this one was even more crazy because like the play clock went to 0 and then it reset to 40.
They still didn't call hike yet.
What's the reset?
40.
Yeah, they do that.
When they do this, they like
And
reset.
wasn't it on the
Like,
heels
Brady's
of
like at 1. He's like, oh my god,
like,
Mr. Brady's at 1.
Didn't
Reset,
they just
reset.
have a delay of games, so that would have been like consecutive delay of games.
Which is I thought that's impossible to
Instead,
do.
it turns into a touchdown. And then the ref is like, they show the replay of like their conversation. He's like, oh, I'm like, that's the worst look for a ref. Is like when someone has to tell you fucked up and like you're like, yeah, they scored a touchdown. On that
Whoopsie
one.
daisy.
Oops.
But look, call it how it is. Packers get the win. They're 3-1. They're playing good football, regardless of how this looked.
I got to shout out the special teams. Thank God they're not blowing games because that was a very classic case of the game we would have lost last year with fucking something up in special
And
teams.
now you got the Packers going to jolly old London to play the New York
They're the
Football
last
Giants next
team
week.
to play in London. Like they're the only team who hasn't played in London yet. Are the Packers?
Really?
All 30 other.
They haven't had to go there yet?
No, they're the only team that
Is the
hasn't played
Packers
there
home
yet.
game? It is. You lost the home game to this. Garbage.
Yeah,
I hate
and
that.
it's bullshit because we didn't get that extra home game last year either because we had to go to Kansas City on that extra, and we had to go to fucking Kansas City of all fucking places. What's that about?
You're right. The NFL just
What's that
hit
about?
screw the Packers button right now.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger doesn't like anybody.
Trash.
My beloved Dallas Cowboys get themselves a 3rd straight win under Cooper Rush. That's always fun. This game wasn't really close, even though my sick mind and me, my brother, my father, all watching this game together. We're waiting for that to be 0-0-0 on the clock because we just think at any moment that the world can just collapse and the Cowboys could lose this game. I don't know what Kellen Moore was trying to do, or maybe it was Cooper Rush. They were trying to flex a little harder on this game at the end. They could have ran the ball, ran the clock out practically, but here's Cooper Rush is putting air under it. I'm happy
I'm surprised McCarthy didn't like call a timeout. He's so fucking
No, Mike
dumb.
McCarthy thinks that timeouts actually roll over to the second half. He's like, if I don't use these, I got 6 in the second half.
They should though.
I mean, they really shouldn't. We see enough timeouts in every game. Good to see Michael Gallup back, catches the touchdown pass. Good to see CeeDee Lamb put his corner on skates. The offense was good. And Cooper Rush, 3-0. I know there's a lot. If you want to go check out my entire Cowboys breakdown, head on over to Blogging the Boys for that podcast with me, Tony Catalina, and Aiden Davis. But I tell you right now, it's nice. It's fun. But the fun stops. I had a heated argument last night with Brett and Keith Ernst via text. And it's just like, we're all Cowboys fans. We host the Jersey Boys podcast right here on the network. And like, they're very convinced, and maybe you could shed some light as an outsider. Is Cooper Rush better than Dak Prescott?
Like in a vacuum, contracts aside.
Contracts aside, yeah. Is like it's very the fact that you're even hesitating makes me kind of nauseous because I truly think that despite all the good and the fun that Cooper Rush is having and they're winning big games and it's all fun and like it's all good.
I don't think
he's a better athlete or a better quarterback than Dak.
I don't think that he's a better quarterback than Dak, but I don't think that Dak is in the right situation with the coaching staff there, and it might be better fit for Cooper Rush with this offense.
But do you rush Dak back right now?
Well, right now, as it stands,
Dak's like, oh,
well, that's the problem.
I understand that,
I don't
but
know.
it
Let's
can't be
clear
up
it
to
with
Dak.
Twitter.
That is the problem. Is that Dak necessarily could, if push came to shove, he could probably line up and play Sunday against the Rams, right? And that's what they're saying, but the swelling has to go down, blah, 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 blah. I am team ride hot hand, okay? When Dak Prescott came in 2016.
Oh, you don't want to ride the broken one?
No, I don't. Good. Well played. 2016, Dak Prescott came in for Tony Romo, right? Dak loses his first game to the Giants, and then he goes on a 10-game winning streak. But before that, in the 8th game when they won, Tony Romo comes back. He's healthy and able to play, and Romo conceded. He was like, look, he's the quarterback. He's the guy. He's the future. Dak, go get him, kid. There will not be the same situation in Dallas. Dak Prescott will not sit there and move on over and say, hey, man, go get him, kid.
That wasn't like Tony Romo made the call, though. Like, they called Tony Romo in the office, and they were like, look, bro,
basically,
but we're not going to – we're going to give you the opportunity to, like,
basically
resign.
save face. Right. And in this regard, Jerry and Stephen Jones are too egotistical to sit there and say, oh, we gave this guy $40 million.
That's who I want to be the head running the team then, ego.
Well, all I'm saying is that the Dallas Cowboys, there is no debate, right? And Keith and Brett both thought I was talking shit when I said that Cooper Rush was bagging groceries 4 weeks ago. It's a figure of speech saying that he wasn't doing anything. And right, Kurt, that's what he said. What about Warner? What about Warren Moon? What about? Point. I'm like, I get it. They all had success in the CFL, the Arena League, and then they come in and they play well in the NFL. I'm not saying that Cooper Rush isn't capable. What I'm saying is, 4 weeks ago, nobody knew the guy existed. The Giants even cut him, okay? The Cowboys cut him. He signed with the Giants. The Giants cut him. The Cowboys cut him again. They brought him back again. So you can't tell me that in that span that the Cowboys fans are like, we got to get this guy back. He could be the future. That's not a thing. Yeah, and it's not a conversation.
I don't think that Cooper Rush is necessarily winning them games. I think he's a little more accurate than Dak. Like, for a fact. I think he's got a little bit, he can't throw the ball downfield, but he's definitely more accurate passer. I think Cooper Rush is a little more accurate than Dak.
Yeah.
But Dak is just way more athletic.
Right. And there's a threat to run, and there's a threat to put your shoulder down.
Isn't playing on the defensive line, and that's what's happening in Dallas.
And look, and Bailey brings it up, and I brought this up on the podcast too. I don't know if Dak is healthy, and Tony Catalina said this best. If Dak is healthy and on the active roster, he's in the ball game. There's no I thought that too. I said, well, what if Rush starts against LA and it's like Aaron Donald and everybody is just all over this guy? And then you're like, all right, Dak, look, this was fun, but go get him, kid. Is Dak Prescott being put in a good situation here? You're telling me that after 4 weeks, you want to go play LA? And then after 4 weeks, you want to go play the fucking Eagles next week? I say you rest them the entire time until after the Eagles game.
Or maybe, like you said, if it's 21-0 at halftime,
have we asked Dr. Twitter MD yet?
He got fired.
He did get fired. All I'm saying is, look,
did we ask Dr. Facebook yet?
It's a fun time to be a Cowboys fan right now. We're not used to backup quarterbacks winning games. We've been through it all. We've been through the Kyle Ortons of the world. We've been through all.
Making $40 million and he's healthy. He's playing.
That's exactly was my That's it. I don't care who you compare to as far as
I don't give a fuck.
This guy's deeper passing. This guy's deeper.
And I'm even saying to your point that if he's healthy against the Rams and the swelling is down,
he's playing.
He's playing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
That's it.
Because he will not be Wally Pitts. He will not be taken out of this game. But the Cowboys are 3-1. I'm excited. We're excited as a Cowboy fan base. I know there's a couple of guys in here. Jolly Old London started off as a banger of a football game. Actually, this is really good. But good thing that all the people at the Sauce Network had 3.5. So that's fun.
That bullshit extra point bum. They leave it to the Vikings to kick 5 field goals in a game, 5, and blow a cover with an extra point.
Yeah. To look at this game on the surface, like you would expect, like the Saints won't be in it. It's Dalton, it's Latavius Murray, it's Mark Ingram, it's Olave. Young guys, except for, obviously Dalton's been seasoned, and Ingram's been in there forever. Like, you don't expect them to be in this game. But the Vikings basically just let them hang in this game. But then the Vikings were kind of gifted at the end, man. The referees, look, I can't say that the referees change the pace of all games. They really do, bro. They really do. Change the interference call to 15 yards. No more spot fouls. No more spot fouls. This is ridiculous. All you have to do is drop back, chuck it up blindly, and then just 50-50 ball. 50% chance the guy's coming down with it, or 50% chance the guy's coming down with him, and it's going to be interference. And you're going to get the ball right there anyway.
The pass interference call at the end, though,
I don't know.
That was a face mask.
I don't know. I
disagree. Like they were both playing for
your
the ball.
assessment. I think that you need to do a spot foul in this case because the reason why they make it an automatic first down on holding is because if it wasn't, it was just a 5-yard penalty. You would just hold every time you were beat because it's like, all right, 5 yards, deal. But in the case
that's the compensation for that.
In the case of where you're throwing the deep ball and the game is on the line and there's no time, right? If I'm beat, I'm tackling you because
fair. And yes, I agree with that. But it's just like
that's why they've
and that's why they did it like this.
They've discussed this in the rules, and like while I agree with you, it does suck in a lot of cases. But like the way that it would really, really suck is if somebody just egregiously commits a foul and they get an advantage because of it.
Do you think can there be layers to the penalty? Like, in basketball, when one's a flagrant one, one's a flagrant two, can there be one where it's like, oh, he just touched him a little bit, 15 yards, but if he mauls him.
I guess there could be that. I'll bring it up the next meeting. I'll bring it up with Roger.
Raj, we call him Raj.
Oh, it's Raj for sure.
That's Chipotle.
So obviously the Vikings get it done. A game that I wish I actually, when the Cowboys are on at 1, it's very hard for me to like engage in anything else. But I did watch a lot of these highlights, but not enough of the game for me to really appreciate what happened. But I did see obviously the end. It's so you have the best, most accurate kicker in football, and you decide, fuck it, we're going for the jugular and a touchdown, and then Lamar throws a pick.
Marcus Peters went full Aqib Talib on John Harbaugh.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
His chain and everything.
He was
ready to kill him.
He was screaming
because of the field goal attempt or a non-field goal attempt.
The whole everything, all of it. There was a
full
few things.
Never go full Aqib Talib,
bro. He was ready to kill him. The coaches had to separate him, and I mean, I don't know what Harbaugh could possibly say to a veteran team.
And he's a special teams coach, Harbaugh. He's a special teams guy. Like that's what he.
And you have the best kicker in football.
I know that. And you're playing an AFC opponent.
And they didn't let the Bills score.
I know.
Right.
Take the points.
Right. That's all it was.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, man. It makes you go, makes you go, It's just
it kind of
emoji.
Kind of makes you think that some of these coaches that everyone thinks are really good aren't.
You're talking about John Harbaugh not being a good coach? Are you nuts? I think the Harbaugh lineage, my friend.
Am I nuts?
Yes, you're nuts.
I'm not. I don't think he's that good. I mean,
he's one of the best coaches in the league. He is.
How many?
Ask that question, Dave.
What?
This is a good question.
How many best coaches in the league are there?
How many one of the best coaches are there in the league?
There's only 32 jobs in this world. Guess what? He's one of them. He's one of 32. No, for real though. Outside of like Andy Reid,
I can name like 15 coaches. Be like, he's one of the best coaches in the league.
That's
not just
true,
but like a lot of people.
That's
like
not
there's
true.
only a couple best coaches in the league,
and he's one of them.
He has to be one of him and Tomlin. But they've been there for a long time. Is the point I mean,
bro? Like
I knew the Tomlin thing was gonna throw him for a loop.
Bro, I saw a fucking meme on Ghetto Gronk, and it was so good. It was like
Gronk,
it was like
Ghetto Gronk is the greatest follow.
It was something about Hugh Jackson or Mike Tomlin starting to think like the Steelers fans are starting to recognize that I'm just actually Hugh Jackson. Let me put Kenny Pickett in. So they stopped recognizing the fact that I'm not a good coach. And I did no justice on the meme, but bro, it is fucking good. Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game in 15 years.
It doesn't matter. I'm not saying look, I'm not agreeing with Rob. Tomlin is not a top coach, one of the top coaches in the NFL. John Harbaugh is.
I can't believe you don't.
He don't lose.
I don't think Tomlin's even a top 10 head coach in the league.
I don't think so either anymore. He used to be.
When
they won the Super Bowl.
The defense is good every year.
I never thought Mike McCarthy was a good head coach. I never even thought he was in the top 20, even when they won the Super Bowl. I don't think that's just automatic. I don't.
No, absolutely not.
Bills get it done. They move on. Look, they're a good team, and this team, this is a blunder.
He was one of the best coaches.
He was.
Andy Reid, one of the best.
Yes.
Damn, there's a lot of them.
No, there's not.
All right, I'm gonna keep on going.
Go ahead.
All right.
Bill Belichick.
Bill
Belichick's in his world of his own.
But you would say he's one of the best, right?
He is the best. No, actually, you know what? Current Bill B. I don't like current Bill B right now.
You see the job he did yesterday? He did a pretty good.
Yeah, still lost the game.
Matt LaFleur.
One of the best.
Why?
Because they've won 13 games
So what?
3
He
years
also
in a
has
row.
Aaron Rodgers. So what does that mean? So if you're saying that he's one of the
He's
best,
downplaying your boy, by
I
the
don't
way.
care.
I'm
I'm saying you asked why.
you think he's one of the best coaches in the league, Chris?
I think that he
won
is
Coach of the
best
Year.
up and coming
What does
coaches
that
in the
mean?
league.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
That
He
means
won
so
Coach of
No,
the
he
Year.
didn't. No, he didn't.
He did not win Coach of the
No,
Year.
it was Mike
Last
Vrabel, I
year?
think, or Zach Taylor.
They
Might
gave it
have
to
been
Zach Taylor? You sure? He won 13 games 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but like.
So anyway, he's one of the best.
He's
Go
the
on.
coach of the 3 years,
Sure. Fine.
right?
Trifecta.
Now I'm drawing a blank.
Exactly.
No.
It's not a lot.
No.
No.
I'm drawing a blank on
Like
coaches.
there's
I can
bad
name
coaches
more.
out there. I'll tell
bad
you what, there's
ones,
more
right?
bad ones, right?
Is Kyle Shanahan,
He's a good coach. He's not one of the best in the league.
Mike Vrabel.
He's a good coach.
Didn't he win Coach of the Year though?
Don't give a fuck. I'm just saying right now, he's a good coach. Exactly.
Sean McVay.
One of the best in the league.
He's
a
one of the
genius.
best, though, and he's won coach.
And he won a Super Bowl last year. Like, yes, he's one of the best coaches in the league.
We're at 6. I think.
We're not at 6. We're at 2,
Andy-
3. 3 in Belichick.
Marvin Lewis had a Coach of the Year award.
Fuck
in
Marvin Lewis. The guy
2009.
couldn't win a game. No. Keep going. I'm in
Marvin
on
Lewis.
this.
Marvin Lewis is Mike Tomlin at Jace. They made the playoffs every year and never won.
But he's still there.
Minus the
Figure
Super
that
Bowl.
out.
Only 6 coaches right now in the NFL have won Coach of the Year. Currently, right now, still in the league.
How
Is that
many
a
of them
comment?
are on Dave's best list?
Oh, no.
None of them, to be
All I'm
honest.
saying, look, right off the
Well,
rip,
John Harbaugh. There you go.
John Harbaugh
He
is
won
one of the best
2019.
coaches in football. And
Well,
What?
Casey settled that he is. Fuck it. Thanks, guys. I'm wrong.
what?
Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the league in the preseason. Can't argue that one.
Oh,
Chris
yes.
Crown.
Jason Garrett won Coach of the Year.
I don't think he did.
All right, fuck Coach
he
of the
did
Year.
in
Who cares about Coach of the
2016.
Year? I'm telling you right now, there's only a couple guys I would consider one of the best coaches in football. John Harbaugh is one of them, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Now, a couple guys is 2, just so
No,
we're clear.
A few. I'll go
couple.
with a few. How about
All right.
that?
All right.
We're done with this? Next game.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the game.
We didn't. No, what? We
Yes, we
did.
did.
Yes, we did.
Bills came back and won.
Deep analysis here at Chop
And
Sports.
J.K. Dobbins.
And J.K.
Hello.
fucking Dobbins, yes.
Hello. Thank you
J.K.
for
Dobbins
coming.
looked
Thank you for
amazing.
coming and playing, but not on my active
Correct.
roster.
Game again. I didn't really get into this one because it was very hard for me to even. Dude, first of all, shout out to the 4:00 slate yesterday. My God, like horrible, horrific, just horrific games on the 4:00 slate. But this was one of them. Kyler Murray gets it done. He had a couple blunders himself, but the Panthers just looked
Yeah,
obsolete.
Baker sucks.
Baker looks
dude.
really, really shitty.
We'd be talking
And-
about like Sam Darnold right now if he didn't get hurt.
This
It
is
would
true.
be like, what's
That's
up?
probably
Where's
true.
Sam Darnold?
Yeah,
Or
we're gonna
if
skip
Matt
the
Corral,
Cardinals
if
game.
Matt Corral got hurt
Skip the
too,
Cardinals game.
Matt Corral got hurt too.
Ask
So
and
it's
you
like,
shall
they're just
receive,
stuck
Bailey.
with Baker. Ugh.
Next. This game toast. It sucked. This one was good. The Falcons overcome the Browns, and we all bet the Browns like idiots. But I will say, just so everybody's aware, there's 2 pushes
I
yesterday.
didn't bet the Falcons.
Huh?
I didn't think. I don't really remember.
You did take the Falcons,
okay,
Rob.
I'm sure.
But you also finished 5-7-2.
100%, baby.
So
It's like 40%.
where the fuck did you go to school, man?
Pittsburgh.
Dave and Chris went 6-6-2. So
Way better than me, guys. One game.
one
and
game,
it's-
way better. The basement dweller known as Rob, sitting there at 23-38. Anyway, so this game, very good performance. Mariota played well. The Browns, they played good too. But overall, the Falcons are going to be a team to kind of keep your eye on because you just don't know. I guess it's just a testament of their schedule, really, because they're looking good. But I feel like once they're going to run into a buzzsaw eventually where it's just going to get ugly. No,
Very young
you would
team.
think. Yes,
Dude, the
very young team.
Falcons?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very talented though. And the Falcons have the top 3. It's like the Browns, the Falcons, and the Raiders are the best offensive lines in football. Like the Falcons are absolutely steamrolling teams. Cordarrelle Patterson has 2 games over 140 yards, right? And then he got hurt yesterday, and Tyler Algier looked like fucking Barry Sanders, right? Killed it yesterday. So Cleveland went in and they were like, look, we're the smash mouth team. Atlanta was like, no, the fuck, you're not. We are.
Try it again.
right?
Hawaii
And-
Mike has a question.
All right,
What's up with Kyle Pitts? When does Bus come up?
Never. Let's stop. Kyle Pitts isn't being used properly through a couple weeks, but the Falcons are finding their way. I think Kyle Pitts is too talented to just keep down for too long.
I
You
agree.
saw splashes of it in week 3. He had like 90 yards and 5 catches. You got to see more usage for sure. But I think they're like too talented to keep down. I remember a lot of this early in Julio's career. Different position, but same team. Julio couldn't catch touchdowns either. Kyle Pitts is struggling to get in the end zone, and I think he's, like I said, too talented to keep down for too long. I like Mariota, what he's doing. He's able to run the ball too. Mariota's a gamer. It's just like you feel like the wheels will come off at some point injury-wise, but as long as he's healthy, he's going to keep them in games. Their offense has scored 26 or more points 3 straight weeks going into this one, and they still kind of delivered.
So 20 or more
Atlanta
every game.
Is clearly way better than people thought going into the year, and it's not because of their defense that people thought might be decent in the back end. They're actually not doing well there either, but their offensive line is crushing it.
Anyway, moving on. This one was near and dear to my heart because I saw the Jaguars jump off to a 14-0 lead, and I was like, ha, they're going to be head. Here come the Eagles. They're going to collapse. It's going to suck. And then Miles Sanders is still running right now. He had himself a day. Eagles offense came to play again. Trevor Lawrence showed his ute. You know what I mean? Like, it was a bet. I have a question for you, though. I have a question. My dad brought this up yesterday, and I was like, how did I not bring this up in picking the game? So obviously we all rode with the Jaguars 6.5, right? And it doesn't come to fruition. Who cares? The Eagles get the win. So do you think Doug Peterson went and visited his statue? Like, do you remember? Like, there's statue of Doug Peterson outside the link. And now you're coaching for another team. He goes, this is why you don't do statues before the careers are done, because now this is a weird situation. You're going with your team and you're walking by this thing. Like, everybody get to the locker rooms and, hey, look at that. There I am. Like, there's my statue over there. It's weird. No,
I would. I would take the whole team.
If they would have won the game, a selfie with the statue would have been the greatest thing.
You ever hear Doug Peterson speak?
Yeah. One of the best coaches. He's not.
But how often have you heard him speak, honestly? Like Super Bowl week when he was like, they put a gun to his head?
No, I've heard every press conference this guy's had, but
he's not the type of guy that's like.
It would have been funny though.
He's Belichicking the shit out of that statue. He's like, what the fuck statue are you even talking about? He's on a new team right now. He better not care about the statue.
I'm not saying he cares.
He's an adult,
don't
right?
you feel like it's weird?
Isn't he an adult?
Bro,
it's weird for Philly.
If they gave me a statue every time I was in the tri-state area, bro,
it's like Rocky.
Have you seen
it's like Rocky,
statue?
Bro.
You know, I want to.
It's like Rocky. Every time you're even remotely near the steps, you're like, I'm gonna go take a picture with the Rocky statue because that's me.
These fans,
you know what I mean? Like Stallone's like, I'm gonna go see my statue.
They are eating horse shit on the streets, bro. For this guy, You're seeing my statue every time. Clean it. There better be someone wiping it down.
Rob's the kind of guy that hires somebody like all year round.
There's a good chance that if Philly would have lost this game, that the statue would have gotten destroyed by the fans anyway.
Casey Hammond says,
I know Casey's in there.
Rocky's not even a real human being and has a statue in that hole.
First of all, he's as real as they come. All right, it's Sylvester Stallone. He's a living, breathing person.
So
who played a really good character.
Are we going to pour cold water on Trevor Lawrence yet, or is it just because of bad weather? And
bad weather, shitty situation. Eagles might be.
Are the Eagles for real?
I mean, yeah.
Well,
it's only been 5 weeks.
Well, hold on. It's 4 weeks, right?
But yes.
Who have they beaten? I'm asking you a simple question. Run down the schedule. They beat the Lions,
which are doing better.
Just hear me out. They beat the Lions, the Jaguars, who else they beat?
I'm gonna look right now.
Why don't I know this off the top of my head? It's ridiculous. But
Minnesota
on Monday night, which doesn't count as a Minnesota team.
I mean, we could paint the optics however you want.
Commanders, the Eagles, the Lions.
Right. So when's the test? They haven't been tested yet.
But I have a question. At what maybe second round of the playoffs? Because they have the easiest schedule in football.
No, they got the Cardinals coming up. Is that gonna be good?
Then the Cowboys on Sunday night.
I know. I'm well aware. But the Cardinals.
Did you just say they got the Cardinals coming up
in Phoenix?
Okay, so they got a test then.
They got to listen.
If that's what you think is a test, then yes, the Eagles are gonna. Then they're real deal because they're gonna go 14-2. Then if that's their test.
Week 6 is the test.
Yeah, that's probably Dallas. I'm assuming. Yes.
I just think really. I mean,
look,
we're splitting hairs if we're gonna say that the Eagles aren't the real deal.
Sit here.
Who is? If the Eagles aren't, who is?
Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, the best defense in football right now. Defense wins championships. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Kansas City's definitely.
Kansas City, look, I mean, we'll get into that game in a second, but Jesus Christ. Another blazer. Okay, this one is insane. They scored over 90 points, had 8,000 yards combined. This game goes to the very end. I don't know why Detroit was even in it, but again, credit to the Detroit Lions. They scored 40 plus,
I'm
bro.
so tired of giving
I
credit to a
understand that,
team
but,
that
like,
just doesn't win
this
football games.
That's what I'm
At
saying.
the end of the day.
But here's the thing: when they were shitting the bed every game last year, right? And they were 0 for a couple years back, right? They have been the worst poverty franchise in the history of franchises. Don't you think it's a little testament that they're playing better when they're scoring points in bunches like this?
No Swift, no
They had
wide
zero
receiver.
people out there. TJ Hawkinson went absolutely fucking nuts in this game. Like, yeah, like this Lions team can score points. It's just a matter of stopping people.
So, I mean, I've never seen a country or just all football in general is so in love with a team that's absolutely sucks still. I've been on board with the Lions offensively with a couple of their guys. They have talent offensively for sure, but they can't stop anybody. They can't tackle. They can't cover. They're giving up 50 points, bro, to the Geno Smith carved them up.
Absolutely balled.
You cannot give up 48 points. Rashad Penny, like, we know who these guys are, right? It's not like Rashad Penny. It's like, oh, who's that? He looks good. No, like, we know who he is. He's regular. And I'm not, no offense to, like,
wow.
they shouldn't be putting up, you shouldn't be giving up 48 points at home to a team that everyone knows is one of the worst teams in football.
Geno Smith through 4 games. Ready? 102 for 132, 77%. 1,037 pass yards, 6 TDs, 2 picks.
So he's averaging 250 a game. How many touchdowns?
6.
How many picks?
2.
Nice little ratio. Geno Smith could win MVP this year. No.
Hey, when you got the best coach in the league.
Like, the Lions are not a good team. They've now not covered 2 weeks in a row.
Because they were favored. Go figure that one out. Favored. I hated this. Hated the fact they were favored. Anyway,
but
sorry for the Lions who are 1-3 but are scoring
points. It's
going
to be some fun games to watch with Detroit because they'll score, but they're going to give it up too.
Speaking of fun games to watch, obviously Los Angeles does their thing. But I think the big story here is the Texans playing decent football. They came back in this game a little bit. They're fighting out there for Lovey. They're fighting. Lovey is not one of the best coaches in football, and neither is the clown on the other side of the field either.
Yeah, Lovey Smith was like 13-40 in college, and they got offered an NFL job again.
You know who really stinks?
Can
we talk about? We'll talk about it.
They fired generic Madden coach David Cawley, and then they hired Lovey Smith.
Anyway, the Chargers roll. Eckler kicked the shit out of me in fantasy. I'm very upset about it. I thought I had the game in the bag, and then I watched this guy go off. So that one looks like I'm going to lose that one. But then moving on to the Raiders. Raiders finally had to have it. We said it. We said the Raiders had to have it. They got it. Josh Jacobs, absolutely nuts in this game. He played really, really good football.
About time they give him the ball.
It is. But here's the thing, and I said this to him in the Mojo Market Report. I was like, when teams are desperate, you think right off, like, if teams are desperate in football, right, they're 0-3, what do you think? You think right away, like, all right, then it's got to be Carr and Adams got to get rolling, and all of a sudden it's the air assault. But they went a completely different direction, and I think that's a testament to not one of the best coaches in football, Josh McDaniels, but at least he picked something up from a Bill Belichick in regards of run the football. It will be successful eventually, and it was. It's
the best way for them to alleviate the problems on the back end of their defense is to control the clock. And again, we were talking about the Falcons. I brought the Raiders up. The Raiders are the best in football, moving people out of place. The Raiders' offensive line is fucking elite. And nobody thought that was going to be the case. They have a trouble protecting Derek Carr a little bit, but it didn't matter in this one because they steamrolled. Like Jacobs, is he RB1 in fantasy this year? I think he is right now.
Really?
But like, is he going to finish there? Because it doesn't look like they're going to stop.
They wouldn't resign him.
The more alarming part is the opposite side of this.
You notice how he's like in his contract year. Maybe don't re-sign running backs, guys. It's a bad idea because the chances that they're going to get hurt in their contract year is highly likely. And the chances that if you don't pay them, they're going to outperform what they would have if you paid them is also very highly likely. So
Russ through 4 games. You ready? 80 for 131, 61%.
All right.
980 passing yards, 4 TDs and a pick.
Yeah, but
that's subpar.
But like
that's not
compared.
Good.
Did you hear about Geno though? So I mean,
Geno's playing better.
Balling,
Geno's playing better. But what I will say is the more alarming part for the Broncos is that they lost or they might lose Javonte.
Yeah, he got hurt. He's crutched up.
Yeah,
and
Casey Hammond coming.
It's crazy those numbers that you're talking about, Rob. Because like Russ actually didn't play bad yesterday.
No, he didn't.
And like, how bad were they going into this? They were real bad. So the Broncos still have major issues on offense.
Carr solidifying himself as a middle of the pack QB so far this year, firmly outside the top 10 conversation. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's a serviceable guy.
Talented, and I think
he can put the ball in the air and,
I think
and do
the thing that I like about
good.
Derek Carr is that he gets better in crunch time.
Yes, he's a clutch quarterback. He's got that clutch gene. But anyway, so moving on, game I didn't pay much attention to be honest with you at all. But the big story here, not only the Colts dropped this one, they may have lost Jonathan Taylor for some time because he's dealing with
It's minor. It just came out.
Well, sometime could be a game or two. I mean, look, the NFL is not 82 games. It's not 162 games. It's only 17. So you got to make sure you're there, man. And what we saw out of Jonathan Taylor so far is rough. It's rough to see. And again, I think, he's too talented to just sit there and be like, well, this might be the new Jonathan Taylor. No, their offensive line is so goddamn good. And that's what they built this team. That's their foundation. They're going to run the rock. And when he's healthy, he's going to get going. I can't foresee that. But the story here outside of that was the Tennessee Titans getting another win. You know what I mean? So the Titans aren't dead yet. I mean, we can't say anybody's dead 4 weeks into the season, but there was a lot of gloomy reports coming out of Tennessee that they might not be the team.
Yeah.
Traylon Burks might be hurt too. I think I saw that.
Taylor Lewan's out for the year.
Taylor Lewan's out. I mean, it's going to be a hard season for the Titans, I think. I don't think they're going to be able to withstand the injuries the way they've done in the past because they don't have the talent. They just simply don't.
That's a good point.
But I didn't think they had the talent when Derrick Henry got hurt last year and they go on and win the 1 seed. I don't think it's going to happen again. That Tannehill is starting to look like every year a couple quarterbacks come into the league, 4 or 5 of them, and then there's only room for 32 starters. Tannehill, I feel like, is one of those guys that it's just he's hanging on by a thread in this league.
Hey, Scoop, did you see this in a Walmart card or something? One of them Hallmark
biggest
cards
win is winning.
Cookie?
Can't win if you can't.
And the Colts offensive line is absolutely trash.
You want to talk about
how good they should be?
A team. All right, so we'll move on to the Sunday nighter, which was Kansas City throttled the Bucs. The Bucs got a couple, to me, garbage time touchdowns. I know it was in the third quarter and fourth quarter, but it just felt like garbage time to me. I feel like Kansas City could score at will. Kansas City's best team in football right now. They are. There's nobody. The Bills are good, but they struggled. This team, they're kicking the shit. I don't care if they drop that game to the Colts. It doesn't matter. They move
the ball so good, man.
They get yards in bunches, and everybody saw what Mahomes did yesterday with the flip dip pass thing. Like, the guy is Houdini. He's a magician. He's fun to watch. But the one thing I will say about the Bucs, guys, we're talking about good coaches before. I don't think for a second that this guy should have got the job in Tampa Bay. Not for a second. I don't think he's good at all. We saw it with the Jets. His defensive coordinator skills are good. Some guys are not cut out to be head coaches. You look over there at that sideline, he looks lifeless, bro. Lifeless. And you're relying on 47-year-old Tom Brady to bring you back to life. And yeah, he's going to hit some nice passes down the seam. But there's something about this guy. I just look at his face and I'm like, this guy, he doesn't give a fuck right now. He's got the job of jobs having Tom Brady as your quarterback. And last night you had no answer for anybody. And you're supposed to be a defensive specialist. You got crushed. And you know what? I'm over the fact that Tampa Bay defense is the best in the league. I think my boys have actually taken over as the top defense in football right now. Top defense. They have Gooch. When I tell you this, ready for this stat, this nugget that I drove up yesterday. So the Dallas Cowboys have let up 4 touchdowns in 4 games, right? The Baltimore Ravens of 2000 let up 6 in 4 games. So they're playing on better pace than one of the best defenses ever.
Who have you played?
Don't matter.
That's a good point too.
Well,
let's see who they played.
Who?
Well, he
the
knows.
Baltimore Ravens in 2000.
Yeah, no, they also shut out 4 guys.
I'm just saying.
They also pitched 4 shutouts, but nobody cares.
Tampa Bay going into this game, ready? They allowed 27 points through 3 games. So through 3 games, 27 points.
And now the average is screwed because they just left 41.
So I guarantee you they're still in the top 10 in points allowed.
I
wouldn't say I guarantee it, but it's going to be damn close.
Early to judge.
It's very early. We just talked about that the Chiefs were the best offense in football and the best team in football. Hey, there can only be one best, right? They're the best. We said not one of them.
No, see, the Bucs have let up 68 points in 4 games. The Dallas Cowboys have let up only 62.
I'm asking about where they fall top 10 because.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, it's not hard to be top 10.
If Dallas played Kansas City, they might be fucking have given up 40 points as well.
I don't know about all that. But in any event,
that Chiefs offensive
why
line.
can't you think of the name of the
Chiefs
Bucs
offensive line
coach, by the way?
Elite.
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. I'm really, I kept saying like the Bucs guy. I felt like an idiot. But yeah, Todd Bowles just didn't look like it was at all interested in that game. And when Tom Brady is looking all over the place for another receiver and can't find one, it's tough sledding. Tough sledding.
Chris, tell me why the Rams are getting a point.
Yeah, tell me why, Chris. You capped the game.
No,
Because Kyle Shanahan is 7-3 against Sean McVay.
Truth.
good point.
And it's in San Fran. And Jimmy G hasn't, I don't think, ever lost to the Rams. Basically, he's like, they always win when Jimmy G's there. They embarrassed them last year in their first appearance in San Fran. I think they're going to struggle to stop the run a little bit. It's just one of those games where it's like the 49ers always have their number. Think Buffalo. I mean, think Indy, Jacksonville type deal. At least in San Fran.
Are you with
the
it?
Rams went in and beat San Fran last year down the stretch in a big win. They needed it. And I just think like I'm in on San Fran this week. It's going to take a lot to convince me to not bet San Fran. I'm not even going to say I'm leaning. Like it's Monday. We're going to pick them. I'm betting San Fran.
I'm with San Francisco as well. I think that the matchup is the matchup. And this is the kind of team in San Francisco. It's not a big spread. It doesn't really matter to me. I think the Rams can be had. We saw it in week 1 with the Bills. And obviously the Bills are a top tier team too. But I'm with the San Francisco 49ers as well. Rob, now look, on Friday, you rolled with the Rams. Are you sticking with it?
Again? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Jimmy G against the Rams in his career is 6-0. Weighs 121 for 177. He's been sacked 12 times. 9 TDs, 7 picks.
That's not terrible.
9 touchdowns, 2 picks.
7 picks.
9 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Yep, 12
he's
sacks.
all over the place.
But if you look at the running game in those games,
absolutely.
it's probably
You're
like
right.
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell probably had 3 touchdowns last year against the Rams. I think that was one of the
Well,
biggest
actually,
games.
so in the 6 games, right? One game he threw for 292. One game he threw for 243, 248, 268. 182 is the lowest, and last time they played 316. So they chuck it a little bit. 10 yards to throw.
We'll see. I'm with the 49ers, and I think I'm going to ride with Scoop's riding with the 49ers as well. Scoop had himself a day yesterday, so congratulations to Scoop.
Did the Jags win yesterday? I know the Cowboys won, the Packers won, the Jets won.
why are we taking at Scoop?
Win?
I mean, I think Scoop's like, whatever, dude. My team sucks. I know.
He's like, whatever, dude. I won 11-1 versus
happy.
spread yesterday. I think I'm all right.
We got a couple of fucking exciting weeks out of the Jags so far, and that's more than they've gotten in the last couple of years. So,
yeah, well, and not for nothing.
Since
if I'm looking at the Jags
days,
listen, I know everybody thinks I was singing the praises of the Jets, but if I'm the Jags and the Jets, that's Spider-Man meme, dude. Jags and the Jets, I think they're both 2-2, and they're just like, young quarterback playing okay, great.
Okay,
how about the rest?
Who's better? Which team would you rather have? Which roster?
Right now, I would rather. I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Then that means that's the
But
team
I
you
don't know if
want.
I'd rather have the team,
That means the
though.
Jags, though.
And coaches
that
included.
really means
coaches
the Jags.
included.
No, so then
I'm with Peterson then, 100%. I'm in the Jags situation right now.
No, I would take. I just if I
on the immediate. What about on the immediate? Like, what situation would you rather be in right now? The Jaguars at 2-2 with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, or the Jets with Zach Wilson 2-2 with Robert Saleh?
The Jets defense is better.
Interesting. I think that's a little home cooking over
I
there.
defense is better.
well, if we're factoring
Blind loyalty, we call that.
Just rosters, it's very, very close, but I think I might lean towards the Jets.
Scoop saying Brandon, I know
Ayuk.
you can say his last name. 52
Ayuk.
yards guaranteed tonight.
And if you put in the coaching staffs, then I think it tips in favor.
There he goes.
It tips in favor of the Jags. Now, if we talk about what divisions they play in, Jags.
100%.
Oh yeah, I mean they don't have to
100%.
deal with anybody really. Just a little bit of Tennessee, I guess, sometimes. And the Colts, maybe.
And Sal doesn't even have a statue. So.
This is very true. And the sound. Oh my god. Anyway, let's get out of here. We got a lot to do and handle over here at Chop Studios. Be sure to check out Mojo. Invest right now, ladies and germs. They're giving you out free shares, free everything, free stock. Check out Pickett, the new app. Use the code Chop Sports. Everybody gets credit, and you get credit too if you start spreading the word. It's a nice little not a pyramid scheme whatsoever, but it's just social media thing. It's a really cool deal. So go check out Pickett as well. And I do want to give a shout out, as I did not say it in the beginning because I'm a bad nephew. This beautiful desk is responsible for a lot of shows, and it's being made by Cabinet Creations.
Already.
It was made. In fact, it was. And
it was already made.
It wasn't made by
Cabinet Creations.
Love you, Uncle Billy. You guys are the best. All right, let's get out of here. For Sturch Gooch and, of course, Wrestler Rob, this has been another episode of the Chop Sports Show right here at Chop Studios. We'll see you back here on Thursday. If you miss us, we're always around, and we have the Mojo Market Report tomorrow morning. Go check that out. See you guys later.
Mm-hmm.